Welcome back to Creative Alternatives, the place where small ideas spark big changes. If you've ever had that moment where you try something new and instantly think, why did nobody tell me about this earlier? Get ready, because what you're about to hear will give you that feeling over and over again. These are the kinds of alternatives that don't just save money or time, they genuinely shift the way you live. And once you start using them, going back to the old way will feel impossible. Let's start with one of the most underrated switches, replacing single-use household items with long-lasting, multi-purpose versions that quietly outperform them. Most of us grew up with paper towels as the default solution spills, cleaning, snacks, even drying vegetables. Thought we? But the truth is, they're one of the biggest money drains hiding in plain sight. A single roll disappears in days, and suddenly you're buying pack after pack without realizing the costs are stacking up. Enter reusable Swedish dishcloths or high-quality microfiber cloths. These tiny, thin, flexible cloths seem unimpressive at first glance, but once you soak one, wring it out, and use it, something clicks. They're ultra-absorbent, they dry fast, they don't smell quickly like sponges, and they last months, sometimes a year, before needing to be replaced. One of these can take the place of 15-17 rolls of paper towels. It's the simplest change with the highest payoff, and after the first week, most people say the same thing. Why didn't I do this sooner? Another mind-shifting alternative lies in food storage. Plastic bags and cling wrap may seem convenient, but they're messy, wasteful, and never actually seal as well as we want them to. Reusable silicone bags and stretch lids are on another level. They're airtight, leak-proof, freezer-safe, easy to clean, and they last for years. Imagine freezing soup in a flat silicone bag that stands upright on its own, seals tight, and rinses perfectly clean afterward. Or covering bowls and plates with a stretchy silicone lid instead of wrestling with plastic wrap that never sticks. You'll wonder how those disposable versions ever became the standard in the first place. The biggest surprise: food lasts longer because the seal is stronger, meaning fewer forgotten leftovers turning into science experiments in the back of your fridge. Next, let's talk about the bathroom specifically, the product we use so often that we stop questioning it. Liquid shampoo and conditioner have been part of our routine forever, but shampoo bars are the upgrade you never knew you needed. They're compact, last 2 to 3 times longer than bottles, and have fewer fillers and watered-down ingredients. When you lather one up, you immediately feel the difference. The foam is richer, the scent is cleaner, and your hair feels lighter because there aren't unnecessary chemicals coating it. Most people try them for travel convenience and then realize they're better in everyday life too. No plastic bottle waste, no leaking containers, no cluttered shower shelves, just a small, powerful bar that replaces an entire bottle. It's a perfect example of an alternative that isn't just eco-friendly, it's legitimately better. Another swap that surprises almost everyone is ditching disposable razor cartridges for a safety razor. The concept sounds old-fashioned, like something your grandfather used, but the results are anything but outdated. Modern safety razors deliver an incredibly close shave with just a single blade, reducing irritation, razor bumps, and ingrown hairs. And here's the kicker: replacement blades cost a fraction of disposable cartridges. You can buy a pack of 100 blades for the price of one set of refills from a big brand razor. Plus, a good safety razor can last your entire life. So, it's the kind of switch that pays for itself in a month or two and then keeps saving you money forever. Let's jump to everyday cleaning. Many people don't realize that one simple mixture of vinegar, water, and a few drops of essential oil can replace an entire cabinet full of cleaning products. Glass cleaner, countertop spray, stainless steel polish, floor cleaner. This one solution handles them all. It's cheaper, it's safer for your home, and it works astonishingly well. When you see how quickly it cuts through grease or fingerprints, you start questioning why so many separate cleaners even exist. This single alternative instantly simplifies your daily routine and declutters your space. Finally, one of the most satisfying alternatives: switching from store-bought air fresheners to essential oil diffusers. Instead of artificial fragrances that fade quickly or plugins you constantly replace, a single bottle of essential oil can scent your home for months. The aroma is more natural, more comforting, and more customizable. You control exactly what your home smells like, from calming lavender to energizing citrus, and you never have to worry about hidden chemicals or constant restocking. These alternatives aren't complicated, expensive, or hard to adjust to. They're the kinds of small but powerful changes that elevate your everyday life, eliminate unnecessary spending, and make everything feel a little easier. Once you experience them, the old way just won't make sense anymore. You're about to discover even more alternatives that feel almost unfairly better than the products we've been loyal to for years. These neck switches don't just save space or money, they redefine convenience in a way that makes you wonder how the old methods ever became normal. And once you experience how effortlessly these alternatives fit into your routine, you'll feel that same "I wish I knew this sooner" shock all over again. Let's begin with one of the most everyday essentials, food prep. Cutting boards, especially wooden ones, absorb odors, stain easily, and require constant oiling to stay in good condition. But flexible cutting mats solve almost every inconvenience at once. They're thin, lightweight, color-coded, and can bend to funnel chopped vegetables directly into a pan. No more trying to scrape ingredients from a heavy board or losing onions off the edge. They stack flat, barely take up space, and can be tossed into the dishwasher without any special care. Once you try them, you'll realize traditional cutting boards aren't bad, they're just unnecessarily difficult compared to a simple, flexible alternative. Now let's move to a surprising upgrade, using silicone baking mats instead of parchment paper or foil. Most people don't consider how often they rebuy those rolls, but the cost of a single silicone mat can replace hundreds of sheets of parchment. It lies perfectly flat on your baking tray, never burns, never curls, and provides a non-stick surface every single time. Cookies bake evenly, vegetables roast without sticking, and cleanup becomes ridiculously easy. And because the mats last years, the savings sneak up on you. It's a small kitchen change with a big payoff in both convenience and consistency. Another mind-blowing alternative is in the world of beverage brewing. If you're someone who buys iced coffee or tea regularly, a cold brew maker, especially a simple one with a built-in reusable filter, will change everything. It's not just cheaper, the flavor is smoother, less bitter, and far more customizable. All you do is add grounds, fill the container with water, and let it steep overnight. Suddenly, you have a cafe-level drink waiting for you each morning without paying $4, $6 a cup. The bottles or makers last forever, the cleanup takes seconds, and the taste genuinely beats most store-bought options. Many people switch for the savings and stay because the quality is shocking. Now let's talk about something we all use daily. Lighting. Most homes still rely on standard bulbs that burn out or give off harsh light, but LED smart bulbs are a complete game changer. They last years, not months, and can switch from warm to cool light instantly, dim without needing a special switch, and even mimic natural daylight. You can set them to turn on slowly in the morning like a sunrise, switch to bright white for focus, or shift to warm amber in the evening to help your brain wind down. They're energy efficient, customizable, and once you try them, normal bulbs feel outdated and limited. The level of control and comfort they offer is honestly surprising. Another surprising upgrade is switching from plastic shoe organizers to vertical hanging organizers or cubby-style stackable units. Traditional organizers often take up floor space, warp over time, or leave shoes piled together. True, sir. But vertical organizers maximize airflow, prevent mold, save space, and keep pairs visible, meaning no more digging for the matching shoe when you're in a rush. It's such a simple swap, but it transforms closets instantly. People often don't realize how much stress comes from clutter until a system actually solves the problem rather than manages it temporarily. Let's jump to tech for another powerful alternative, using rechargeable USB lighters instead of disposable ones. These sleek, flameless lighters use a small electric arc to ignite candles, grills, or incense. They're windproof, long-lasting, and rechargeable like a phone. Disposable lighters run out constantly and become trash that piles up. But with a USB lighter, you charge it once and use it for weeks. It's cleaner, safer, and more eco-friendly, and once you own one, it becomes something you can't imagine living without. One more switch that shocks people with its usefulness is replacing store-bought cotton towels with fast-drying, lightweight Turkish towels. They're thinner, yes, but far more absorbent, softer over time, and dry in a fraction of the time regular towels do. They take up less space in the laundry, don't develop musty smells, and fold easily for travel or storage. For many, it's the first time they've experienced a towel that's both luxurious and practical, and once you realize how quickly it dries, especially if you live in a humid climate, it becomes the only type of towel you want in your home. These alternatives may seem simple, but once you experience them, the old methods feel slow, inconvenient, or outdated. That's the magic of discovering smarter options. The shift feels so natural that you instantly wonder how you ever lived without them. Get ready, because these final alternatives are the kind that make you stop mid-thought and say, how did I go my entire adult life without knowing this existed? They're smarter, easier, and in many cases shockingly more effective than the traditional products we've been conditioned to use. This is where everyday life gets noticeably smoother, cleaner, and more enjoyable, not because you're working harder, but because the replacements you're about to hear do the work for you. Let's start with something almost everyone struggles with: organizing cables. We've all dealt with tangled chargers, knotted headphone wires, and that one mystery cord nobody remembers owning. But the alternative that solves this instantly is using reusable Velcro cable ties and silicone magnetic clip. They're cheap, durable, and transform a chaotic drawer into neatly organized, easy-to-access bundles. Instead of constantly rewrapping cords or losing track of them, you simply attach a tie once and it stays with the cable forever. Magnetic clips stick to desks, metal surfaces, and even kitchen appliances, holding cables exactly where you want them. It's one of the simplest yet most satisfying improvements, and once you try it, loose cords feel like a relic of the past. Next up is an alternative that feels almost magical: wool dryer balls replacing dryer sheets. Dryer sheets need to be bought over and over, leave residue on clothes, and lose effectiveness quickly. Wool dryer balls, on the other hand, last years and naturally soften laundry while reducing drying time. They move through the fabric, separating layers so heat circulates better. Add a few drops of essential oil if you want scent, and suddenly you've upgraded the entire laundry experience without spending more than a few dollars. Clothes come out softer, with fewer wrinkles, and the drying cycle finishes faster, saving electricity every time you use them. It's one of the most underrated swaps ever created. Speaking of laundry, another alternative you'll wish you knew sooner is using concentrated laundry strips or pods instead of bulky detergent bottles. Traditional detergent is mostly water, packaged in giant plastic jugs and easy to overpour. Laundry strips solve all of that. They're thin, pre-measured, dissolve instantly in hot or cold water, and take up almost no storage space. No more messy caps, strips, or wasted detergent. And because the formula is more concentrated, you get the same cleaning power in a smaller dose. People who switch off and say that shelves instantly feel decluttered, laundry becomes simpler, and the environmental impact is drastically reduced. Now let's move into the kitchen for one of the most surprising upgrades: replacing traditional sponges with silicone scrubbers. Regular sponges trap odors, break down quickly, and harbor bacteria. But silicone scrubbers stay clean, dry fast, and last months longer. They scrub effectively without scratching surfaces, and because they don't absorb water, they don't develop that dreaded old sponge smell. They're also heat-resistant, meaning you can sanitize them in boiling water or even toss them in the dishwasher. It's one of those alternatives that instantly feels cleaner, fresher, and more modern. Another mind-blowing substitute is using portable handheld vacuum sealers instead of bulky countertop machines. These small rechargeable devices work with reusable airtight bags to keep food fresher for far longer than traditional storage. No more freezer burn on meats, stale snacks, or wilted greens. The handheld sealer pulls out excess air in seconds, giving you professional-level food preservation without the giant machine taking up half your counter. For people who meal prep or buy in bulk, this alternative is a budget saver that pays for itself quickly. Now let's talk about hydration, a basic daily habit that becomes frustrating when bottled water is your main source. Instead of continuously buying bottles that drain your wallet and create endless trash, switching to a filtration pitcher or an under-sink filter system gives you unlimited clean water instantly. Pair it with an insulated stainless steel bottle that keeps drinks cold for 24 hours, and suddenly you're saving money, reducing waste, and enjoying better-tasting water. It's one of those switches that feels small at first, but becomes part of your lifestyle almost overnight. Finally, here's a game-changing alternative that improves both convenience and wellness: replacing traditional air humidifiers with filterless ultrasonic models. Traditional humidifiers require constant filter changes, which cost money and often mold quickly if not cleaned meticulously. Filterless units use ultrasonic technology to turn water into a clean mist without needing disposable parts. They're quieter, easier to clean, and far more reliable over time. Some even have built-in essential oil trays, allowing them to double as diffusers. Your air feels clearer, your skin stays hydrated, and you never again have to buy overpriced filters that only last a few weeks. The beauty of these mind-blowing alternatives is that they don't ask you to work harder, spend more, or complicate life. They do the opposite. They simplify your routines, save you money, reduce clutter, and make everyday tasks feel smoother and more enjoyable. And once you upgrade to these smarter solutions, the older versions start to look like unnecessary obstacles you unknowingly tolerated for far too long. These are the kinds of changes that don't just make life easier, they make you wonder how you ever lived without them.